I never thought I would almost die from coronavirus. March 17th of last year, I woke up gasping for air. It's so new, less than 100 people died from it. My wife calls 911. The operator has to look it up, a black lady named Teresa. She goes, ooh, it could be COVID. He could be contagious. Then there's a long pause on the phone. Then she says, girl, you better get away from him. My wife goes, what I do? She says, put him in the front yard. I'm like I'm trash? My wife looks at me and goes, you got to go. But I'm a man, I'm like, hell no, I'm staying in my house. I ain't going no front yard. So now I'm sitting in the front yard. Gasping for air. The ambulance comes, they put oxygen on me. They say goodbye to your family. Now, I can't touch my family because I got COVID, right? So my wife is at the front door with my son and a window separates us. They're crying, I'm crying, so I walk up to the window and put my hand on it where my son is, gasping for air. My 3-year-old son puts his hand on top of my hand, looks at me and goes, this little dude making fun of me, man. Screw you, dude. But the comedian in me was like, his timing's incredible. So they put me in an ambulance. Now, if you've never been in an ambulance, it's a scary ride. You don't know what's gonna happen on the other side, right? And they put your neck in a brace, so all you can do is look up. And while I'm looking up at the ceiling, I'm going, you know what? They should put some motivational quotes up here or something. Something to put you at ease, you know what I mean? Like, you only live once. Enjoy the ride. OJ did it. So I get to the hospital. Lots of doctors and nurses waiting on me, and this is when I found out something interesting. The guy that rolled me out of the ambulance was like, you're our first COVID patient. Good luck. So they send me into a room. They take every blood test, every x-ray they could, right? Then they leave the room. About 30 minutes later, I see all the doctors in front of my room in a window, right? And they're just talking like, and then I see them draw straws and one goes, fuck! And that dude walks in. He's scared. He told me less than 100 people died from COVID. So it was new, and he was like nervous, and he goes, well, here's what's happening. Your lungs are filling up with fluid, and you have double pneumonia and corona. So I look at the doctor and go, what's that mean? He goes, well, it's gonna go really good, or really bad. And we'll know in about 2 days. And then it started to sink in. I go, whoa, 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 this is serious. I'm gonna make it, right? He looks me straight in the eye and goes, we'll try our best. Yo. You always want people to try their best, right? But you never want someone to tell you they're trying their best. You ever drop your car off to a mechanic, pick it up, and you're like, hey man, did you fix my brakes? And the dude's like, yeah, you know what, we tried our best. So they put me in ICU. I'm the only person in ICU. It's new. It's new. Now, this is the only thing I'm gonna say about vaccines. I don't care if you're on them or not on them. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your body. But if you're not on them, please do not say, I don't wanna get the shot because I don't wanna be a guinea pig. You're not a guinea pig. You know how I know this? Because I was a guinea pig. Because the doctor walked into my room and went, we don't know what we doing. So we gotta give you everything. And they did. I was like a whore and the drugs were like dicks and I was just taking them all in the mouth. I got gangbanged by experimental drugs. The first one they gave me, hydroxychloroquine. I had an allergic reaction to it. My temperature shot up to 104.8, almost died that night. But this is the last thing you ever want to hear your doctor say as he leaves the room. He saved my life, he's leaving the room. He looks back at me and goes, man, we learned something new today. Now, as I'm dying in the hospital, I'm watching TV. And there's a group of people on TV saying it's a hoax. Now, you know what these people look like. I don't have to describe them to you. If a Cracker Barrel exploded and landed on a Walmart and drove off in an F-150, so they were supposed to tell me if I was gonna live or die in 2 days. It took them 4 days, right? The doctor said, you're doing so well, we're actually gonna let you go on the 5th day. So, on the 5th day, I'm getting ready. I'm putting on all my clothes. All the doctors run into my room and go, no, lay back down, lay back down, lay back down. You can't leave. I go, what's the matter, doc, what's the matter? He goes, oh man, we just let somebody go home and they died. I was like, shit. You can keep me in this bitch forever. I'm not going anywhere, you know? Put me at the front desk, I'll answer phones, I don't care. What was happening is they were letting people go home, they would relapse and couldn't make it back to the hospital. Or if they did make it back to the hospital, it was too packed and they couldn't take them, right? So they evaluated me for 3 more days. Now remember, it's still new. So on the 8th day, they're letting me out of the hospital, out of ICU. Doctor looks at me, we're at the exit, me and the doc. He looks at me and goes, hey man, you need to quarantine. I go, how long? He goes, 22 days? Cool. I'm at home for 22 days quarantine. Let me tell you what my beautiful wife is going through. She's alone. We have a 3-year-old son and a 2-month-old daughter. So for 22 days, I'm hearing my kids yell, scream. My son's asking where daddy is. My wife is losing her mind. I'm getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner delivered to my room. I'm like, damn, COVID ain't that bad. I feel like a husband in the 50s, you know what I mean? I'm like, get those kids away from me, bitch, where's my dinner? But I gotta say, man, to all the doctors, nurses, frontline workers that are here tonight, thank you for what you do. You are the real heroes. Yeah. Yep. So, I became good friends with my doctor, of course, because he saved my life, right? And they test my blood all the time because I was one of the first patients that beat COVID, that they didn't put on a ventilator. So the doctor calls me up for a blood test to see if I need a booster or not. And he goes, well, here's your results. If your level is over 20, you don't need a booster. If your level is under 20, you need a booster. I go, all right, doc, what's my level? He goes, your level is 2500. You have 120 times more antibodies than you need. The highest number I've ever seen during this pandemic is 700, and your level is 2,500. That's right. I hung up the phone, looked at my wife, and said, I'm a goddamn superhero. I'm the half Black Panther. Do you realize I could sneeze on someone and cure them? Shake my hand, sir. You're vaccinated. Fist bump. Booster! I'm not gonna lie to you, I got too cocky after the doctor told me this. I got way too cocky. Way too cocky. I was doing everything I wasn't supposed to do. Yeah, I was going out, touching everything. I was opening doors for everybody. Did not care. I opened the door for a little old lady. She was like, do you need some hand sanitizer? I was like, oh, hell no. I am hand sanitizer. I lived a life without fear. Everything I was afraid of, had no fear of anymore. A cop pulled me over, was like, do you know why I stopped you? I was like, no, bitch, and just drove off. I was like, what? This is what it feels like to be white. What?